Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, to the Game Dojo. You are here with me today, and we are exploring the handhelds. Only some of my handhelds. We're going to pretty much hit a bunch of different systems, mainly Nintendo, because everybody keeps asking, what is in those bags that you see on my wall? Well, the first is going to be the Nintendo Switch. You have to know the Nintendo Switch. You have to heard it by now, or at least know somebody who has it. There's literally been so many units sold that it's broken records. It's almost one in every household, and almost everybody owns Mario Kart. So come on, by now you have to know the Nintendo Switch. But if you're not familiar, I'll explain it to you. So the Nintendo Switch is a handheld hybrid console that you can actually put on your TV. So it's a handheld console and a regular console. What I'm doing right now is just scrolling around showing you that I have a bunch of digital games loaded onto here. I have about maybe the same physical games amount as I do digital games. So I have maybe a good 100, maybe 200 games. I'm going to have to sit down and count. I lost count at like 160, but I should have about 200 games. But you click on what you want to go to. It's an HD system. Up top here is where you load the cartridges. The previous systems actually you load the same way, which is one of the things that I love about Nintendo's ingenuity. They decided to actually go back and pay attention to all their previous models and previous things that they've learned through hardware and software to come up with the Nintendo Switch, which is why I'm not in a rush to see a new next-gen Switch. I like what I have. I got Day 1 edition. I've had mine for almost 7 years, and I absolutely love it. Back here is where they have the SD card, right here, underneath the kickstand. This is where you put your SD card. I have a 512 in right now. The kickstand and the OLED models are all across the back line, which is more stability. But the one leg, though, sometimes if it's on unstable, it won't do a good job. But as you can see here, it's actually performing pretty well. So, you know, no problems there for me though. But now, as I'm actually showing you, I'm going to turn this off so that we can move on to our next system. So we started off with the most modern. And by the way, these Joy-Cons do come off. Each one of them is itself a controller, so even if you don't have a controller, the system comes with 2 controllers plus a Pro controller. So each one of these is a controller. And yes, I have used them with my gigantic hands playing Mario Kart. It is absolutely bananas. Yes, absolutely. So they click back onto here like that, and that's the Nintendo click sound that you hear when you hear the Nintendo logo being presented. So I have the Spider-Man edition, so I love my Nintendo Switch. Now, what's in these magic bags of tricks? Over the years, you've seen some of them, but we're going to do a few handhelds today. So right now, coming out of my Mario Kart bag, you're going to know and love one of the previous systems, the Nintendo 3DS. That's right, the Nintendo 3DS. It's very familiar to the people who know about the Switch because it's literally the generation before. I mean, the Wii U would be the direct precursor to the Switch, but the 3DS was still around even after Wii U had been kind of phased out because it didn't really take off as well as you hoped it would. But you can use a stylus on it. As you can see here, I have my Mario stylus and my pack's full of games, but it's clamshell, which is one of their technologies that they've used for a few models. Let's wipe it off here so that the screen can be nice and clear for us. This is a Pokemon version, and this is the 3DS XL. So this is the slightly larger unit, but we're going to wait for it to boot up. I do like the backlit LED screen that they use for this. It's probably an LCD, but it seems to me like it looks like an LED. And there you go, Mario Kart. Yeah, pretty much all my systems I have, with the exception of PlayStation, have Mario Kart on them because I bust Mario Kart on every system, on every platform. To me, it's my go-to game. It tells me everything I need to know from point A to point B. So as you see right there, Nintendo 3DS system, it boots up in Mario Kart 7. Now you have the ability of doing 3D and 2D with this system at the change of a button. The 3D looks really good, but sometimes for prolonged periods of times it can really mess with your eyes. So I just use it 2D unless I'm trying to do like a video or something. And right here, see, you have a bottom screen and a top screen, which, if you're familiar with the DS model, this basically is just a beefed up, stronger version of the DS model. And I love the 3DS. I love the abilities it has. I love the Wi-Fi capabilities. Currently trying to figure out how to put it on a television. I know there's a way you can put it to a television so you can watch the bigger gameplay on the little, maybe like screen mirroring or streaming. But when I get the ability to do that, probably through a capture card or something. And what I like about the 3DS is it's backloaded. So it's backloaded a lot like the Nintendo Switch you see now, and the cartridges are pretty much around the same. They're just a little bit smaller, but they're probably just more advanced technology. Clicks into place just like the Nintendo Switch cartridges do. Let me see if I can show you where's the button. Power it off real quick. Alright, and we're going to fold the clamshell. And as you can see, let me see what's it at. There you go, put it up here. We'll show everything together in the end, but this is where I was showing you where it's top loaded both on both systems. I wonder if they would make another Nintendo Switch if it would be a clamshell itself, a screen, a foldable glass screen, which would probably cost the unit even more money. But I can't say it's not 100%. So what's in this Mario bag? This is my 3DS XL bag, and what's in it is, okay, so we have another bag, a bag within a bag. We have a little bit of a inception going on here, and this is the 2D XL. So this is the 2DS. This is the Mario edition. It came with Mario Kart, just like the previous edition that you saw. And what I like is it's top loaded the same as the 2DS XL. So like I said, I really don't like the 3D edition all that much. I like the fact that the 2D has it, but it does not clamshell and flip, which is a little bit of a problem because you have to worry about screen protection all the time, but it is touchscreen just like the 3D XL. So if you take the 2DS, and there you go, it boots up. It has the same brilliant backlit screen as the 3D XL. It's top loaded as well with the cartridge, which you can see is Mario Kart. That's right. Mario Kart's pretty much, like I said, on all my systems because we're Team Red Shell and karting is what we do. So the sound schemes, the vivid backlit screen, everything is 100%. It's almost the same as the 3DS XL, except for this is the 2D model of it. So I kind of like it because it kind of feels like a big Game Boy. But I would like the ability for the clamshell the screen. But I guess it's just cost effective, more cost effective to be done this way. And that's Mario Kart 7. As you can hear, the speaker is really good. The same as the 3DS XL and the Nintendo Switch all have great speakers. They use the analog, the movable analog, which is actually on the 3DS. Same thing with the D-pad and the buttons. So we're going to hit the home buttons. We're going to back out of this. I just wanted you to be able to see it. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera as well as I can see it with my eyes. Okay, so this is the other favorite, and like I said, they all use the same top-loaded technology, which is smart because each model that they learned from as they went forward, they incorporated something into it. So the Switch is basically a culmination of a bunch of different models. Now, in this amazing little Mario bag, as you can see, we're going to zip. We got a lot of good bags of goodies here. This is the Game Boy Advance. That's right. This was the step away from the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. This has a lot of positive pros. It also has some negatives. I mean, it being on the smaller side, it's probably around the size of a PSP. The cartridges used are Game Boy cartridges, which if you have any Game Boy cartridge laying around, it runs on batteries or you can plug it in. There's two different ways. The only negative aspect that I have about this is that it does not have a backlit screen. So playing this, just like the original Game Boy, you would have to be in direct light in order to see what you're doing. The speaker, if you can hear, I don't know if you can hear that. The speaker is actually pretty good too as well, and Mario Kart is in this as well. This is Mario Kart Super Circuit, and we are playing, like I said, Mario Kart pretty much in everything. The screen is in color, so it's not green, the spinach green from the original Game Boy. But like I said, they did sell lights and things so that you could play your Game Boy Advance with a light that hooks onto it. I really didn't have it. I prefer to just play it in the daylight or maybe under a flashlight under the covers. This is one of those guilty cheat systems. It's constructed very well, and it's on the list of maybe my top 3 handhelds. So now that we have 4 systems down in the door, let's move on to something else. So we're going to move on to our next bag of goodies. Okay, hold on, let me move this out the way. Okay, and now we have the Mario book bag. And what's in this is another 2 systems. That's right, we got some more handhelds coming at you. It's a handheld bonanza today. It's fun times with handhelds. And as you can see, I got a bunch going on in this bag, but we're going to pop out right here. Now this is in between the Advanced and the 3DS and 2DS. This is the DS, and it has the ability of functioning two cartridges. So it has a old cartridge slot so that you can play Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games, and Game Boy Color games, but it also has a slot where you can play DS games. So it is a multifunctional dual slot. Now I love the ability of the backwards technology to go between 2 of these. Now if they do make a new Switch and they're not using the same cartridges because they don't hold as much, I would hope they would incorporate this backwards feature so that we could play Nintendo Switch games, original Switch games, on the newer version. This is a smart idea because you don't limit your client base, because a lot of people love the Nintendo Switch. And it would just be horrible to limit the games and do a all-new system where you don't have the backwards compatibility. This, the DS, is a hybrid system in the making. This is what the forefront of the Nintendo Switch and the Wii U were going to do. This literally just incorporates everything that they were learning so far, which is one of the best aspects of the system. The sound, the backlight, the touchscreen, everything you see in the predecessor models coming out, the 2DS, the 3DS, the Nintendo Switch, the Wii U, they all started from this base model. This base model was ingenuity at its highest advance. And like I said, I love the ability to be able to put 2 different types of games in one system. Old games with new games, bridging the gap. This is a hybrid of all types, and I absolutely love it. So what do we have in here? We have Mario Kart DS. And you can hear the speaker is very pronounced. Can you hear that? Okay, yeah. Like I said, pretty much all my handhelds are going to have Mario Kart in them because that is just what when I pick up, that's my go-to game. Whether it's Super, NES, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, or Nintendo Switch, that's my go-to game. So I love the clamshell and I love the idea because it protects the screen, but this was the advancement before you move from system to system to system. And what we have here going back, almost the original, we have the Game Boy SP. That's right. This is basically on lines of the original Game Boy. It uses the original Game Boy cartridge, which the DS also uses as well. It flips out and it has the same clamshell features. So the original Game Boy is the only one I do not have. I'm on the lookout for an original Game Boy with the spinach green graphics. I know a lot of people didn't like the spinach green graphics, but I absolutely adored them. I had a Game Boy when I was younger. I don't know what happened to it. So as you can see, the clamshell is something they kept going from model to model to model. So it's something that I'm glad that they kept thinking of as they went forward. Now the Game Boy SP was color, and like I said, it's a step away from its original brother, the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. Now, if any of you guys out there have roadmaps or let me know that you can, I would love to get an original Game Boy. It's something I've been waiting to get to bring back my last collection of handhelds. And as you can see, we have Mario on this as well. Mario Kart Super Circuit. Like I said, all my systems have Mario Kart. The color is vibrant. It's a backlit screen, which is actually better than the Game Boy Advance. So the technology learned on this was better than the Game Boy Advance to me. I love the SP. I love the clamshell. I love the light. I love the battery capacity and how long it lasts. Most of these systems haven't been booted up in, I would say, 8 to 12 months, and they still boot up and run off of initial charge, whatever initial charge was in them. The cartridge slot is the same for regular Game Boys, and you see the left and right analog left and right shoulder triggers at the top of this. So this one is actually one of my favorites too, and if it folds down to like the foldable phones that we have now, which, like I said, if they did come out with another Nintendo system, I would prefer it to be a clamshell of some sort, just because I like the fact that it folds and protects the screen. But now we have in my magical Mario box, even though this may not be a Mario system, it is still in a Mario box because we are Team Nintendo here. That was one of my first systems. That's what we loved. And what we have here is, if you saw from my previous videos, the PSP. Now, I came by the way of this as somebody had actually thrown this out. They didn't want it anymore. Go figure. I love the PSP system. I had it for a very long time. I used to take it with me to work all the time, listen to music on it, watch movies on it. It was actually one of my favorite systems. I love the ability of making micro DVDs on here in the disc. I love that it plays games. I love that you can play music on it. It was just basically versatile. It was the Switch before the Switch, which if you look closely, some of the ideas are shared amongst these consoles. The D-pad, the designs of the buttons, where the start is, the power, the shoulders, everything is pretty much shared within system to system. Now, I do not think this will turn on because it was dead in my last video and we had to plug it in to charge it. But there you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 systems. And now the Switch, because I didn't want you to think that I forgot, I made Mario Kart on all my systems. The one system you did not see it function on was the Switch. So I'm going to let you know that the Mario Kart is inside here. It is stock, and we are going to run it, basically. We could not have all these mini systems run with Mario Kart and not the Switch, because the Switch is something that I play pretty much almost every day, every week for the last 7 years when it came out, and I absolutely love the Nintendo Switch. So this is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and now with the DLCs that they've been giving us, we actually have packs and stuff now, and extra content, extra courses, and extra characters. This is just awesome right now. Like, it is a gaming heaven for your handheld kingdom. And the handheld kingdom is a great kingdom to be in. If you were going on a trip, if you were riding a train or on a plane, long car rides, hell, if you're hiding in the closet because you're trying to get away from people's drama and arguing, this makes a great system. All of these are great systems. So let me pop this off of here and show you the collection of systems. The Sony PlayStation PSP, the Nintendo Switch, the 3DS XL, the 2DS. So we have the PSP, the Game Boy Advance, we have the 2DSL, the 3DXL, we have the DS, and we have the Game Boy SP, and then we have the Nintendo Switch. Altogether, a lovely collection of joy and fun for hours and hours of entertainment. And yes, I still use these. I still use all of these because every once in a while, it's so great to take it back. It's nostalgia at its highest.